Hello there, I'm Karina, Executive Coach at SeeAre. Welcome to the very first podcast in our Elephant in the Room series. Today we are going to talk about the shadow side of empathy. In special times like the one right now, challenging situations require managers to be empathetic. People and businesses are under financial pressure and uncertainty. It shouldn't come as a surprise that some people, including managers, will be less performative, less efficient, and/or more emotional. When managing or coaching people affected by COVID-19, one must understand how, in the name of empathy, one may end up worsening people's situation or mindset. For example, one could unwittingly enable someone's victimization. Let's start with the obvious first. As managers, the ability to demonstrate support and comfort to your team is an absolute necessity. No question about that. However, you also need to support them in finding a way out of their problematic situations. In the name of empathy, managers often fail to address team members getting stuck in a rut or failing to find a path out of their problems. This becomes a catch-22 situation. By only acknowledging their struggle, empathizing with them, and standing by them, you may actually be reinforcing that people's victim narrative and justifying their actions or inactions. But being okay with being a victim will not make you less of a victim. As a manager, you must be empathetic, but also ensure the individual moves forward. If they fail, you should encourage them to continue moving forwards, not backwards. Let's talk a little bit about empathy itself. When someone opens up about the challenges they are facing, empathy means acknowledging them for opening up, acknowledging the challenges they are facing, acknowledging the feelings they share or that you pick up on. It's about making them feel heard and acknowledging the victim part of them that needs to be smoothened so it can take a backseat. But as we mentioned before, you can't stop here. If you do, you risk emphasizing the person's sense of victimhood, something that may create a feedback loop. Such a loop is not easy to escape. Normally, it only ends when the person is fed up with listening to his/her own narrative. So how do you tell the difference between someone who is sharing their struggle and someone who is stuck in a victim narrative? Well, while listening with your empathetic ear, you have to find out. Can you see other options or methods available that will help them overcome their challenges? Are they sharing their challenges as a way to ask for support in getting unstuck and out of their rut? Or are they trying to justify a status quo? If they are in the last category, they may say something like, "Because of this and that, I can't do more. There isn't much I can do." Or, "It's too hard. I'm trying my very best here." Or, "It's not easy keeping appointments with so many people at home." Can you hear the status quo in these examples? An almost unsaid, "This is how it is and I can't change it." That is a sign empathy alone won't support them, because there is no willingness to overcome their problems, at least yet. There is no desire to ask what's next in their plan. There is no offer of a solution. While we cannot judge people's reality, the objective here is to hold up a mirror for them to see where it will lead them. It might go something like, "During COVID-19, you were given these tasks, and I hear you are now experiencing the challenges as follows," and you describe those. Or you might say something like, "You are telling me these things X, Y, and Z are occurring, and things are not working out for you." And here you summarize what they told you using their own expressions as much as possible. This technique is called the echo effect. If your summarizing is correct, they will feel acknowledged and understood. If your understanding was incomplete or incorrect, or if they are feeling judged, they will reword your summary. Once the summarizing part is complete, hold up the mirror once more and ask open-ended questions, like, "If you continue on this trend, what will be the outcome?" This question is to make them realize where they are heading if they don't change. If they stick to that narrative, where will it go? Some might not see the wall they are running into. It could be unconscious denial, being stuck with no capacity to see the probable future. But via these open-ended questions, you can challenge that illusion, which is an unconscious self-preservation method to numb and soothe concerns. The secret here is to not tell them what you see. It is to guide them to realize it by themselves. The reality needs to hit them and needs to come out of their own mouth. Obviously, the answers to the questions above may not be the ones they want. Nevertheless, you need to give the person space to understand it on their own terms. Once they see the situation they've put themselves in, you need to ask, is that the outcome you want? Is that something you're okay with? And most importantly, is there anything you can do to change that outcome? If they say they are not okay with the situation they are in, you have sparked an incentive for them to do things differently. You are giving them a sense of accountability so they can move forward. You are giving them an incentive to rewrite the narrative and do something different. From your supportive role, you can add a final question. Is there anything I can do to support you? If after all this, however, even through your open-ended question, they remain unwilling to do something different, for instance by answering they are okay with the situation as it is until it changes, your mission is not yet over. You need to help them unpack what that outcome means in the long run. Are they willing to take ownership of the consequences? Usually, unpacking such a scenario here would be their performance will be less than acceptable, or poor reviews will follow, and ultimately, their relevance with the team becomes questionable. Here too, it must come from their mouth, not yours. You must ask close-ended questions to verify they accept these consequences. If they say yes, it means they have crystallized their victimhood and there is little that will change. Allowing them to sabotage themselves over time will not help them, not the team, nor the organization. Dealing with situations like these is about giving people the chance to take ownership of their actions. Such conversations are crucial no matter how difficult they are. And by refusing to hold up that mirror, you enable their victimhood to flourish. It would be foolish to expect that when the worst happens, meaning you letting them go, they will take their share of responsibility for it. They will look for someone to blame just like they have been doing all this time. And of course, the perfect person to blame will be you. No one is helped when people cling to a narrative that does not push them forward. And it is crucial that managers do not allow people to resign from their responsibilities, personal or professional. But you are not there to do the work for them. Your role is to groom and help them grow. If you do not call out an unhelpful narrative, you must accept responsibility for the outcome you co-created. You must be firm and not dance around the subject. Of course, this isn't only useful during COVID-19. Actually, by our experience, for many managers struggling with underperforming team members, the situation we've talked about is not an unusual one. So take a moment here and think about your different team members and their narrative. Have you contributed directly or indirectly to their stuckness? See things for what they are and see how you could support them further. That's for today's Elephant in the Room. Thanks for listening. Share your opinions on the topic by leaving a comment, and if you want to ask for information about specific topics, leave a comment too. We'd like to know what would be useful for you. In general, SeeAre is an executive coaching, leadership development, business strategy and mediation company providing its services worldwide. If you want to find out more about us and our services, you can visit our website at seeare.co.